We've done a lot of work with comparing and ordering fractions, but now we need to take our knowledge of comparing and ordering fractions and apply it to decimals. Our work so far has involved shading decimals on grids and talking about the size of decimal numbers. Which of these decimals is greater? We can use many different tools to help us compare both of these decimals to see which one is truly greater. The first tool is one that we've practiced so far in class, using our hundredths grids. Each of these grids has 100 different squares. All of our decimals are out of a whole, or out of 100 in this case. So if I were to have a full grid shaded, I would know that that grid equaled 1. Both of our decimals are less than the number 1. In this case, we have 6 tenths and 5 hundredths. So with my marker, I can shade 6 tenths are whole columns. And remember that they do not have to be perfect, but they should show the amount of space that is covered with the place value that we're dealing with. So we now have 6 tenths covered. And the reason that these are tenths is because I can take, not perfectly, but each section and divide it up evenly into 10 pieces, and I could continue on. The next place value tells us that there are 5 hundredths. Hundredths are represented by the squares in our grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hundredths are smaller than tenths. In this case, because there are 5 of them, this is half of a tenth. So really, we have 6½ tenths. Many times when we're talking about our decimals, we're actually saying many of the other things we already know. For example, when we said 65 hundredths, we were using the words for the fraction form, which is 65 hundredths, or 65 over 100. We also said that this could be 6½ tenths. When we were working in our decimal day problems, we talked about how to show this as a fraction. It could be 6½ over 100 or 6.5 over 100. Oops, sorry, not over 100, over 10. For this decimal, when we say our decimal, we're saying that this is 6 tenths. 6 tenths can be shown in our grid by simply shading in 6 columns. There are no hundredths shown with this decimal. We talked in class about the fact that on these grids we do have hundredths, or our grids are broken into hundredths. So if we were to think about this, how many hundredths are in each column? 10 hundredths. So count by 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 60 hundredths. Is this decimal more or less than 65 hundredths? Just by looking at what we've drawn in our grids, we can see that this decimal is ½ tenth more, or 5 hundredths more, than 60 hundredths, or 6 tenths. We can write this fraction as 60 over 100, or 6 tenths. Another way that we've practiced comparing and ordering decimals during decimal day has included our number line. Many of you have been breaking our number line up into 10 pieces. I'm going to do my best to do that right now. You can notice how I've marked a half. Not perfect, but it works. 6 tenths would fall directly after 5 tenths, which we know is the same thing as 1/2. 6.5 tenths, or 65 hundredths, would fall in between 6 tenths and 7 tenths. Because it's part way to our next whole column. If I were to continue filling in this column, we would have 7 tenths, or 70 hundredths. Many of you have also used hundredths on the number line to show how to break it up in a different way. Either way works. So we have many strategies for comparing and ordering decimals, and we can use our knowledge of fractions and percents to help us as well.